What's up, Raider Nation? It is time for a very, very special edition of Ask Captain Jack. Because he's not here, it's going to be Trask the Captain. So I hope you brought your questions. I certainly have lots of questions still about the Raiders, but let's see if they match. Hi, Tavita. I hope I pronounced that right. Hi, Connie. Welcome to the show. So let's get into some preseason predictions, questions, concerns. I went through a lot of them yesterday. Hi, Michael. On my concerns, but I know other people have different questions about stuff. So let's do this. Let's captain it up. Anybody want to start? Let's start with Michael Kendricks. The captain is not here, Lions. He's in New York City. He's abandoned us. But he did say that he made it out of Harlem alive, so that's a start. So Michael Kendricks, I looked and did find that he did visit last week at some point. I think it was Wednesday, Thursday. I don't remember. Hi, Terry. And he left without a deal, but he is making a decision, which means we didn't offer him enough money. Cleveland's got a ton of money, so I think we'll probably see him in the dog pound this year, which does not bother me one bit. I think we've got plenty to work with. So, hi, Manuel. Welcome from Chihuahua. I hear it's kind of crazy down there. Exciting. Hey, Mark. You guys are all getting in here. Good. So, Michael Kendricks, probably going to be a Brown. Probably not going to be a Raider. And that's okay. We still have a crap ton of linebackers. And we still have a... Yeah, Terry, that's exactly right. He's got a ring. He wants money. And that's fine. He got lost in a mix last year, though. So, he's not looking like... you know, the superstar. He's not Fletcher Cox, so he can't ask for Fletcher Cox money, that's for sure. He was part of a really, really, really good defensive unit. And I don't see anything on his stats that show that he was one of the breakout players. So the guys that we've got right now, hi Eric, welcome from Tampa. The guys that we got right now are going to do as much, if not more, than Kendricks. Hi, Mario. So, let's get into more questions. That was my own question, though, so nobody else is stepping up. Come on, guys. Bring it. I'm waiting. In the meantime, I am excited about the season this year. It's going to be crazy. I did read I'm sure you guys all read the article because it was posted in the ReACTIon group. And it was about Donald Penn getting pissed off and calling John Gruden. Oh, is it confirmed, Michael? I just read earlier, I didn't see anything pull up about him signing officially. So, there, I was right. Hey! Not surprised at all, but seeing him in a Browns uniform was the most likely scenario there. I hope Bowman comes back too, Terry. That would be great. That would be great. But that one's going to remain to be seen, and I don't know what's going on with him. I think you're right, Lions. People have forgotten that Derek Johnson got signed, and that's unfortunate because he's still got a tank. I mean, the guy is still ready to play, and he's still ready to put it down. He'll be a really, really integral part of the front seven this year, I think. So I believe that John Gruden is going to rotate in and out, though. They're going to probably do a lot more packages than what we saw with Gunther in Cleveland, because he's got a lot more talent than he did in Cleveland. Cleveland has some really talented guys, but they don't have depth. And looking at the lineup that we've got now, there's depth and there's the opportunity for depth. So he's got a lot of options to play with there. So if he's got run options, he's got pass defense options, it's going to be great. Hi, Miguel. Yeah, Penn is quite a dipshit. Terry, he was dumb. And I don't know, people keep giving me shit about this whole, I don't think Penn's going to sign. I don't think he's going to be, he's already pissed off the organization enough. So if he doesn't come back, I won't be shocked. Nobody else should be either. So the guy that said that yesterday on my video came back and posted it again. Hey, girl. I don't like being called girl, even if Ryan Gosling's doing it. So just don't do it. It's not good. Yeah, Javier, he did. He had, Burfict isn't, I don't think Burfict is a superstar linebacker that he was either. So, Matt, he's got definitely a lot more options. Did I say the Browns? I was stuck in Cleveland, apparently. I'm sorry. He's got a lot more options now. So there's no reason that he can't make this work. He can't get like 1,000 different looks out of this. The guys that he's got on staff, and make no mistake, Mac will be the leader. Don't worry. He's not going to be the Mike, but that's the position that we really need, is the Mike position. So that's what I'm waiting for, to see who emerges as in that Mike position. And I believe that we have at least two guys there that can. I think Whitehead and I think Johnson are probably really, really good options. McDonald's is hiring. They might be. Penn, I think Penn's good. He got some money from last year, so held out through training camp and came back and did what? Contract years are shitty. It's unfortunate. They shouldn't even get a contract until after. It should be bonus incentive based. I mean, you should have to work for it. And that's why I think Reggie puts together the contracts that he does, which is awesome. Boo, Raiders, go Seahawks. Hi, Nicholas. I don't have the kitty table that the commish does. So just imagine there's a kitty table just floating in the air here. So you can go sit there. And if you don't know what the kitty table is, tune in like tomorrow or Tuesday. Have fun. Commish will have a great time with that. So, Penn, Donald. He's got issues. I'm not going to deal with Donald Penn anymore. Don't be surprised to see him gone. If Colton Miller picks up and gets right into shape where he needs to be, Donald Penn may be here just for the summer. That's okay. Our record this year, I think I'm being conservative. I think 9-7 is probably fair. If we go 10-6, great. That's even better. But I think 9-7 is fair, especially with rebuilding. Shane, I appreciate that. Thank you. We're not going to open up the floodgates this year. They're going to put everybody into their positions, and they're going to see where everybody goes, and they're going to figure out how to fine tune. And next year will likely be our year. So, Gruden's not dumb. He doesn't take things like as quick as they come. He wants to do things, and when he has a plan in place, he goes fast. Like when he got hired with the Raiders last year, he knew exactly who his coaching staff was going to be, and he had already talked to like 70% of them. So he knew exactly who he was bringing in. He knew exactly where he's going. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. So once he gets them in there, then it's time to start stacking your personnel. So the coaching was all done. Once he got in there and he got figured out, obviously the CBA didn't allow him to talk to his players at all until freaking OTAs or whatever. So he couldn't really get everybody on the field and see what they were made of. But once he was able to do that, he knew exactly who he wanted for his roster, and he knew where the holes were, and he knew what he needed to fill. So he did. Matt, he might be working a lot of the snaps, but he's even come out and said very clearly, Donald Penn has that, he's there to train. He's there to help the rookies. It's going to be great. He's happy. Eric, I'll get to that in just a second. I don't think Penn has the longevity for it. So if he makes it this year, it'll be his last year. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the boys, the junior boys can come in with. But remember, it's not just rookies that we have that can rotate in at left and right tackle. There are other guys that have been sitting back there for a year, 2, 3 years that are learning a new system. And if they pick up that new system, they've already got some, a little bit of time with the NFL. I mean, some of them haven't even played in games, but like David Sharp, he stepped in last year and he didn't let Derek Carr get a broken leg, so that's a good sign. But just remember, Colton Miller's not the only person there. Brandon Parker's not the only person there. They have other serviceable options, and they have the option to shuffle the line. So don't put all your money on Penn. Don't give me the argument that he's going to start immediately because he's the veteran and nobody ever starts at right tackle if they're a rookie. That's not acceptable. It's not a valid argument. Let's go with that. I don't know if Penn let Carr get hurt, Eric. It's not something I'm really comfortable with commenting on, but it happened. The crap part about it in the 2016 is that the one sack that he gave up allowed Carr to get a broken leg. And yeah, Johnny, he did call and cuss him out, but Gruden cussed him right back out. I read the article today about the phone call, apparently. And Penn had called right after the draft, right after they picked up Colton Miller, and Gruden didn't answer the phone. So the next time he talked to Donald Penn was at Monday practice, Monday meeting, whatever it was. And Gruden said to him, "I bet you were pissed, huh? You were mad as a motherfucker." And so I think it was more Gruden cussing at Penn than anything else. Penn knows where his place is, but he needs to learn to keep it there. I am confident that Sharp can get in there and do some work on that. I think John Feliciano is going to be one of the options that, like Line said, he's going to be one of the very, very valid options. He was able to step in a little bit at center last year. He also stepped in at right guard when Gabe was still hurt. And I think he's definitely got the work ethic, and he can do it. He's got the skills to do it. And he's got a much better, I keep going back to coaching, but he's got a much better coach to do it. So I can't get on the Penn bandwagon. I just can't. It's not going to, no one's going to convince me that he's going to be there on the final 53. Not until we see it. And I might be wrong. It happens every once in a while. Not often. But it does happen. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we've got so many other options. There are, outside of the predicted starters, there are 9 other linemen, I think. Last year, Eric, yeah. That's debatable, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I can't let a political, heated decision cloud my judgment on that, because I don't want to think that they let him get hurt, because that would be pretty crap. That would be just a crap way to do things. That makes you kind of a shitty person. And I'm not saying Donald Penn's not a shitty person, because I think that he is. And I think that's why he's going to be gone. So, yes, Johnny, Chuck E. is known for his foul language, and that is just fine. Terry, I gotta go back to your comment. I think Gruden does have one of those phones that plugs into the wall. But you know who else does? Me. I don't use it, but I still have one. It's craziness. So anyways, yeah, last year was a train wreck. We can't even talk about last year. It didn't happen. It was all a figment of your imagination. The only good thing that came out of it was a new coach who is, I might be biased. I've always loved Gruden. I've always thought he was a great coach. I think he did a lot more for the Raiders than anybody had in, at that point, like 15 years since, who was the great coach before that? You know who it was? Tom Flores. That was in the early 80s. He's much better, head and shoulders above pretty much anybody we've had since, for like, yeah, 25, 30 years. 35 years. Because, yeah, I was tiny. I was a little girl. But, Matt, I don't think we blame it on Downing. I think we blame it on the people who put Downing there. I think we blame it on Jack Del Rio. And I already forgot. What was the O-line coach's name last year? Because I don't even want to remember him. He was terrible. God. He was such a good O-line coach until last year. He was awful. Anyway. Javier, yeah, I don't know about the last Super Bowl winning team. But Martavis Bryant was a huge pickup, Casey. Huge. I truly believe that guy's going to put some butts in the seats at Oco. Sorry, I'm lost. He's going to make the Steelers mad. Oh, and we have to play the Steelers this year too, don't we? It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see that game because I think he's going to piss Ben Roethlisberger off. And I don't care what anybody says. The Steelers do not have a stellar defense. Ryan Shazier went down and their linebackers went down with him. It was not good. So, can't wait. Mike Tice, thank you, Matt. Oh my God. Jeez. He was terrible. He did such a good job until he wanted to force something. He wanted to force a square peg into a round hole. It didn't work. So, you wanted Muscle Hamster a couple years ago? Yeah. Schittsburg, yes. That's it. They should have kept Musgrave, Matt, but apparently that just wasn't in the cards because Jack Del Rio is just a fool. Everybody warned me about that too. The people I talked to, I was like, "Oh, I'm really excited, Jack Del Rio. He's looking like he's going to do great. Maybe he's learned from his time in Jacksonville and everywhere else that he failed." But they were all right. I have to tip my hat to all the people that told me last year that Jack Del Rio was going to be a train wreck. You guys are not making it to the postseason with Jack Del Rio. They were right. I'll admit that. I'll eat it. But I think we definitely got the better side of that coin. I think Doug Martin's going to be definitely a big deal. He's ready to work. He's putting in work. He's going to town every single day on the field. And I love watching him. I mean, he's definitely something we haven't seen for a secondary back for quite some time. So, and it's good to see a guy on the field that's about the same size as the young boys, the Richard and Washington. Sorry guys, I didn't take my ADD medication today. I'm like off. So, but it's good to see a guy who's not too much different in size than them and since he's a solid vet, I mean, he's got plenty of years under his belt. He can help them a little bit, you know, he can guide them a little bit and he can feel like he's useful, if nothing else. He can feel like he's got something to do. He's got a purpose in life, which is good because he hasn't had a purpose in life in a while. I don't blame him. If I was stuck in the Bucs, I'd probably hurt myself and not want to get on the field either. So I'm not predicting that's what happened. I'm not saying that was it. But that was my big shocker of the off season, the first one that I was shocked about. I don't know what you guys had for your biggest shocker, but that one was the one that I did not see coming and I did not see working out. So I'm excited to see that has. I'm really, really thrilled that he's been really busting his ass. Matt, that would be great. Shit, I'd take Charlie Garner part 2. That's fine. But yeah, I'm excited to see him. There was one other thing that we can bring up. We can discuss real quick. Who was it? I think Popeye posted something in the Raider Reaction page that was a Bleacher Report story about how Jordy Nelson was the biggest failure pickup of the offseason. What? Anyone? I have no idea what's going on there. Casey, never sleep on Marshawn. Ever. Yeah, that's foolish to do that. Last year he was super productive. In the last half of the season, I believe it was the last quarter of the season actually, he was the most productive running back in the league. So sleeping on Marshawn is a mistake you don't want to make. I think he was a big reason that we were so close to Dallas in the Dallas game. He ran over people. He can. Sean Lee's afraid of him, and Sean Lee's not afraid of anybody. So, but back to Jordy. Poor Jordy. He's taken so much crap between him and the team. They're just taking so much crap about whether he was the right fit. And I think he is. He's going to be a great fit. He's already looking fantastic. He's already looking like part of the team. We got wide receiver 1 and 2, and we got slot receiver 1, and yeah. I think they are mad about, there's been so much talk about Derek Carr and his abilities, and he does have a lot of Aaron Rodgers qualities. I don't think he's there yet, and we'll see what happens with him, but he does like to audible a lot more than Aaron Rodgers does. So he's got a little bit more control of what happens on the field. I think Aaron Rodgers is very, he's got a certain amount of plays that he runs, and his coaches kind of dictate which plays he's going to run. I think that Derek Carr is a better leader. I don't think the skill is there yet, but I think he's got the potential to be there. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Great. He's one of the best. And I just think we've got to wait and watch. We're seeing history in the making, so we really need to keep close eye on him, because Carr is going to be one of the best Raiders quarterbacks of all time, if not the best. I'm excited to see if he finishes better than Stabler, and I think he probably will if they don't screw him. So Chucky's already got the biggest crush on him in the world, so I think he's going to do everything he can to make sure that Derek Carr doesn't get hurt. Let's see. Yeah, Matt, I agree. If Jordy's our biggest mistake, then we're doing pretty good. Yeah, the last Battle of the Bay, Shane. Let's talk about that one. It is going to be a sad day when we see the last Battle of the Bay. I have grown up watching that every 4 years, I guess. And it's always like, they always bring their A game, no matter who is the worst team. You know, the Raiders have obviously been crap for a while, and the 49ers have gone up and down, and no matter who is the crap team that goes into that, they will fight tooth and nail to run the Bay for the next 4 years. And the last Battle of the Bay, not the last one, but the one before that, I believe the Raiders were responsible for keeping the 49ers out of the playoffs that year. So that was just, you can't ask for a better outcome from that. The Vegas move is going to be a good thing for the Raiders, because Oakland didn't want them anymore. And that's on them. So, yeah, Eric, let's go back to that real quick. Carr had no time. The pocket collapsed so quickly last year, and I think a lot of that had to do with Gabe being hurt, and because Kelechi and Rodney Hudson were still on their game, they were still doing great, And the pocket collapsed really quick, though, because our starting right guard, who the year before was one of 4 guards who hadn't given up 1 sack that year, he had an ankle injury. And it's hard to work on an ankle injury like that, especially if that's what you do. You plant and you pivot. That's pretty much all they do. And they're big men, and I think that's the reason. He had a tough time, and I can't hold it against Gabe. They made them work even when they were hurt. Del Rio did nothing good for that team last year. He let Carr go in with a broken back after 1 game. 1 game. That's it. That's all you get. You sit on your ass for 1 game, and then we'll talk about you going back in, but you're probably going to go back in. And yeah, it was just a total shit show. So I am excited that I think they're going to have a solid pocket this year, because Gabe is back. He's in good shape. He's in good health, and he's looking great. And obviously he's next to Rodney and Kelechi, who are always great. Kelechi Osemele was probably my favorite pickup that year, and Bruce was just a smidge behind in second place. But KO has done the best job that we could have asked for at pretty much any offensive line position. It was great. He's fantastic. So I'm excited to see that. Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy, crazy setup last year. That's why I think that they're going to probably look at a lot of different O-line setups this offseason. They're going to test it, and they're going to see who fits where, and they're going to see what is going to happen with, this person, that person, who's going to be the best, because you can't just have a left half of a line. That is the blind side, and that is the most important spot. But if that's where you're, if you're giving up talent on the right side of the line to support the left, you're not doing any favors. You're not doing anybody any favors, because everybody's going to start rushing on the right. Everybody's going to go to the strong side. They're going to put their biggest rushers over there, and they're going to kill you. So Gruden already made it clear. He already knows that, and he's a much smarter man than I am when it comes to football. So, Shane, on the Vegas issue, let me talk about this for a minute. Let me see here. Let me read through all your thing here. Let's say you win 2 or 3 grand casinos. The reason that I think Vegas is going to work really, really well is because Vegas increases their population by about 300% every year. Or, excuse me, not every year. Every weekend. That many people come into the city just to spend time in the city. It remains to be seen whether the team is going to work out any deals with the casinos, but at this point in time, there haven't been any that I am aware of, but I haven't looked lately, so don't hold me to that 100%. But there's no income tax there, which is great. It's going to help the team. It's going to help them keep people on the team. I think that's going to help the salary cap situation a lot. But with Vegas and the amount of influx every single weekend and the amount of people that come in dropping money, there's going to be even more people that want to come in to just go to the Raiders games. And then they're going to take a side view, and they're going to, head over to a casino. They might put together packages for the casinos, that way they can get, let's say a tour package. Let's go with a church group. If a church group buys a tour package, maybe they're going to go out and try to, preach to the masses, see what goes on. And that's going to be a big, huge win for the casino, but it doesn't have to be a drop for the team, because they're going to have to buy blocks of tickets anyways. So if they want to comp somebody a ticket, they're going to have to comp it out of their pocket, because they're going to have to purchase a block. So it's going to be just all good for the Raiders. I think it's going to definitely boost viewership. That's a huge deal. And those Vegas odds, let me tell you, going in and given the Raiders status right now, going into the season, if they have a 9-7, 10-6 season going into next year, it's going to look even better. And when you go to Terry, that would be an awesome church. But when you go to a casino, you want to put down some money on the Raiders. If they're 10-6 next year, let's say. No, they haven't left yet, Ed. We're still stuck in Oaktown. Not that I dislike Oaktown. I don't like I don't like the way they do things, but. So, I mean, if they go through the casinos and they get comped, I totally lost my train of thought. So I'm totally going backwards. I apologize. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be good for the Raiders. The Raiders are going to see people that they never would have seen. People, I mean, Oakland is not a big, huge tourist attraction. It's not a big, huge stop for people, unless, unless people are going there specifically for the Raiders or the A's or whoever it is. It's sporting town. And Vegas isn't sporting town yet. They're getting there though. They're excited. I know a lot of people that live in Vegas and they can't wait till the team comes in. There's a large contingency of Raiders fans over there. Ariel is one of our Raider Reaction guys who lives in Vegas, and he gets to go to the hi Captain Jack, hope I'm doing you proud, joining us from New York City. Glad you made it out of Harlem alive. But so we're gonna see good things when the Raiders move to Vegas. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. It's going to be crap for the town, for Oakland, because they're gonna lose a substantial amount of revenue, and it's unfortunate for them, but they made that decision. So their loss is Vegas's gain, and Vegas is going to gain. So yeah, Shane, I hope that helps put your mind at ease a little bit. Maybe I did look into that quite a bit last year when it first came down, but yeah, first Monday night against the Lambs. Yeah, we're going to see, the Rams are going to be fun. It's going to be an interesting, I can't wait to see what they do, because if they're either going to crash or they're going to cruise all the way to the postseason, because they have so many big names there that there's only one extreme or the other. Only one extreme or the other. It can't go. There's no middle ground on that one. So, yeah, the Rams are going to be either an easy win for us, or they're going to whoop our asses big time. And Marcus Peters is over there, so you best believe if he plays over top of Amari Cooper, he's going to have something to prove, because he didn't prove a whole lot last year. So, hold on, let me see. I'm scanning through. I hope we beat the Rams, Eric, but until we see them in preseason, or until we see them somewhere, I probably need to look at their OTA highlights, because I haven't seen anything from them. Like I said the other day, I don't really pay attention to other teams' OTAs, because OTAs are kind of useless for me. It doesn't do me any good. They don't tell me much of anything. So I'm just kind of keeping my fingers crossed that nobody gets hurt in OTAs. But I do like knowing, the work ethic. I do like finding out who's putting in work and who's getting to, 100% on the field, and who's doing what they need to do. And, oh yeah, Johnny, that's right. They do have 2 former AFC Westers. So Talib has lost like 3 steps though, so I'm not even worried about him. He didn't even show up to the games last year. He got his ass kicked by Michael Crabtree. I know that's probably being a little liberal, but it was Not a fair fight. And I can't respect anybody who shoots himself in the leg. That's friggin' retarded. But yeah, I think Talib's lost a few steps. 1 or 2, or maybe even 3. Yeah, he's... Give me a break. Captain Jack called the Monday night game a loss. All right, we'll see. I think it's going to be a blowout one way or the other. I don't think it's going to be a close game. Not at all. So, the Warriors beat the Cavs 122-103, just in case anybody needs to know. Derek, apparently Michael Kendricks has signed with the Browns. We'll see. But I'm not surprised. I don't think... The way that Chucky negotiates is if you walk in the building and he wants you that bad, he's already got in mind... it's up to Reggie to fine-tune numbers, but if he wants you that bad, he's going to schmooze you the entire time you're there. Entire time. So, I am not Amy Trask, I am Angria Trask. Different. Not her daughter either. Somebody asked me that. Amy Trask doesn't have any kids. So, I forgot what I was talking about again. Captain, the only thing I'm doing wrong tonight, I think, is just forgetting where I'm at, because I forgot to take my ADD medication today, so the lights are really pretty, and they're distracting the shit out of me. Anyways, so yeah, put Kendricks out of your mind. Nobody needs him. We're not going to get him. So, Chucky, yeah. He didn't ever let Jordy leave the building. That's why Jordy is a Raider now, because he didn't take any other visits. He didn't get to go anywhere. Derek Carr picked him up from the airport, took him out to dinner, I think it was. He took him out to dinner with Chucky and wives and stuff like that. And I don't think we needed Kendricks that bad. I think he probably met with him in the facility. Yeah. Yeah, Captain Jack, I'm totally with you. I don't know one way or the other if it's going to be a win or a loss. I'm excited to see what preseason brings, though. I know preseason seems like useless games, but the first 1 or 2 games are usually starters. Excuse me. So we do get to see a little bit of the gel. We get to see who's kind of worked on their teamwork, worked on, all their skills, how they're putting it together. So we get to see how Chucky is putting everything on paper and how it's translating to the field. And, yeah, I think the first couple of games of preseason, we'll probably see we'll get a glimpse of what's going on. And, yeah, I think, Eric, we're going to fight tooth and nail for that game. But if the Rams, and keep this in mind, the Rams head coach is a Chucky acolyte. He did train under Chucky. Gruden, turned him into the coach he is now, by all accounts, including Sean McVay. So it's going to be an interesting thing, because Gruden probably knows how McVay thinks, but I don't know if McVay knows anymore how Gruden thinks. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a fun game, though. I have no doubt it's going to be tooth and nail. And they've got a lot to prove on that. Both of them do. Gruden has to prove that's his first game back. He's got to prove that he's worth it. He's got to prove that he made the right decision and the Raiders made the right decision. And Sean McVay has to prove that he can surpass his mentor and that the student has become the master. Because he did win Coach of the Year last year. We have to keep that in mind, too. So it's going to remain to be seen whether he could put all the talent and the egos on his team together to make a cohesive unit. And that is what I am not banking on. I don't know that he can. I think there's too many big egos on that team. So I'm not holding my breath to see if they work together, because I don't think they will. But as Captain Jack said, hello, Ariel. I was speaking of you earlier, living in Las Vegas. We had some discussion about how the move to Vegas is going to work. So I said we have some feet on the ground. And if you guys don't watch Ariel's videos, they're really cool. He goes to the construction site and gets some, some insight on what's going on over there, some updates. You can get some live action views of where we're going to spend the next 1,000 years, probably, because that stadium was expensive. Early predictions on record, Derek. I have been very conservative with my 9 and 7, and I'm sticking with it. That's what I can't put anything on paper yet that's anything higher than that, because until we have our final guys that are lined out, until we have a final roster set up, and until we know what other cuts they're going to make, because best believe they're going to make a lot more cuts before the end of this, the preseason. I don't think we'll go into the 4 preseason games with our final roster. I think they're probably going to make cuts after that. So we'll see. However, they are going to drop a lot of dead weight after training camp because they're looking for the best. But the depth is going to be there. I'm excited to see the depth. I could see 10 wins. Well, thank you, Captain Jack. I try to make good points. Sometimes it works out, but yeah, TJ, and Jeff, by the way, I can see us doing 10 wins, but I don't want to get my hopes up too much. And I want to see what they're doing. I want to see who wins out in the battle in the trenches on both sides of the ball. That defense is going to be ugly. Can't wait. It's going to be amazing. People are going to look at them and be scared. But until we have the final rotation and find out who's playing where, we can't call them improved just yet. And until we find out what our secondary is going to do, I can't put any faith in it. So it's going to be just, it's going to be a last minute decision on my part, whether I decide, for a record prediction. Last year I went into the season thinking we were going to probably do 10-6, and I was almost right, just backwards. Those 2 numbers were correct. I'll give him that. But TJ, nobody should sleep on PJ Hall. That he's a monster. If you look at his stats, it looks like a video game stat. He's got like 2,000 of everything. And I'm not good with remembering numbers. So definitely go look up his stats, though. James, welcome in. I'm glad you're back. People are going to be surprised with this team 12 wins. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to probably catch people off guard. It's going to be a big turnaround. But I can't put a whole lot more on paper than 9 or 10. So it is like a chess game, Jeff. You have to predict 10 moves in ahead. Otherwise, it's just going to be like, it's going to be your demise. You're going down. Which rookie will have the biggest impact for us, Derek? It's going to be Mo Hurst. Bar none. Unless something comes up that prevents him from getting on the field, like, God forbid an injury. That kid's ready to eat. He's hungry, and he has a point to make. And he's already proven that he's going to make that point. So I can't wait to see him. Can't wait to see him. Actually, here's a fun fact. If you guys didn't watch, the first episode that I was on for Raider ReACTION it was like a month ago, wasn't it, Captain? We were talking about draft picks. It was before the draft, and we were wondering who they were going to pick up, and I said, I hope they pick up Mo Hurst, and that is exactly who Captain Jack wanted, so he cheered with me, and then we did, and I cried a little bit. I cried a little tear. So if we were in the same state, Captain Jack and I should have gone out and had some drinks just to celebrate that one, because it was great. Key and Miller, James, I think we got some really big steals this year. Oof, I can't wait to see Key either. The kid's already got himself on a path where he's going to be He's on the straight and narrow. He's following Bruce Irvin. I don't ever call Bruce Irvin a thug. He has terrible grammar, says a lot of fuck words, and that's okay. But he's a good dude. And he is a huge, huge benefit. Like he's the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee from our team for, I think he's been that for a couple years now. And there's a reason that he is, because he's a great guy. He goes out and helps his community. He gives back food. He's donated bicycles to kids in needy areas. He's a great guy. Great guy. Don't call him a thug. He's the best mentor that Arden Key could have. So he's already made that his goal. He's made it his mission. And those boys are going to keep him in line, you best believe. So I agree that we did have a much better draft than it looks like on paper, Eric. We stole 2 first-round draft picks in low draft positions. Everybody else's loss was our humongous gain. So it's going to be an ugly year for opposing offenses, because I think that's mostly where we got our steals, was on the defensive side. Ooh, it's going to be great. Any last-minute questions, guys? I'll wait for a minute. But I can talk. It's going to be such a dead couple of months, so I apologize if we're boring. And I can't wait until the middle of July. That's where it's going to pick up. But I don't want the summer to go by. It's such a horrible juxtaposition. It's terrible. My forecast for our running game, I think that our running game is going to we're going to carry 5 backs at least. I think people are going to be surprised at some of the backs. Keith Smith is staying because they like John Gruden likes a fullback. He loves his pure kind of like those traditional hybrid positions. Fullbacks and his tight ends are a big deal for him. And Doug Martin, I think, is going to be RB2. And then I think we have 3 younger guys behind him. If not, 2 at least, if not 3. We'll see. But I think we'll have more of a running game than people expect. I still predict 2,000-yard rushers this year. So mark my words. I'm excited. I hope we get there. Any chance we get Bowman back, I'm not going to hold my game. Not going to hold my breath on that one. Sorry, not my game. I'm reading Terry. Terry, I'm going to try to go to a Raiders game this fall, and I have never been to one. So, unfortunately, living in Alaska, it makes it really hard to do anything. But I do have a very, very good reason to go to a game this year. My son's graduating. He's turning 18, so I'm hoping to bring him down for a happy birthday and happy graduation game. So I wanted to take him before they move out of the black hole, because I really want to see the black hole too. So wish me luck. I think Martin is going to be a lot better than people want to give him credit for. Bucs fans are just poo-pooing on everything he does, and that's okay. I like to be underestimated. That's why I was a little pissed that everybody was putting us in the Super Bowl last year. Obviously, that did not work out. I don't think Bowman's coming back. It's sad. It's a sad day, but I don't think Bowman's coming back unless they can work something in the next 2 weeks. He's going to be down, going to be gone. I don't know where he's going to go, but it's a sad day because I think Bowman was a really good fit for the defense. But yeah, so any last minute questions? We got a few minutes. If you guys want to, can I buy? Oh, hey, I will take that, Captain. Sold. I'll send you PayPal money or something. Excited about it. Thank you, Eric. I'm glad you tuned in. Glad you enjoyed it. Captain will be back next week, right? I think. We'll see. But you guys have to make sure to tune in on Wednesday for the Raider Nation invasion, because we are going to get down to our it's the semifinals of the GOAT bracket. Can't wait. It's going to be really exciting. Matt, I agree. I think that's why. The fullback and a blocking tight end in front of Doug Martin, unstoppable. And can you imagine when you put a fullback in front of Marshawn Lynch? Oh my gosh, it's going to be beautiful. Last year we had a really athletic fullback in Jameis Olawale, but he was too strong for his own good. He kept tweaking his own hamstrings. That's no good. You can't do that. Bo Jackson broke his own hips. See, power is not necessarily all the best thing. Bo Jackson was the best athlete of all time, in my opinion. So, anyways, tune in. Make sure you guys catch us on Raider Nation Invasion. It's going to be a heated battle because there are four Raider Nation, what are they? They're legends. That's what they are. They're just legends. So we'll see what happens, but I'm really excited. It's going to be Howie Long against Jim Otto and Kenny Stabler against Freddie B. So it's going to be great. Tune in. Watch us all argue. We're going to fight tooth and nail. It's going to be awesome. And then next week, I guess we're going to crown the greatest. I'm excited. Derek, just before I go, who is winning our division? Going to come down to the Raiders and the Chargers this year. I don't think the Chiefs are going back. We'll see. Obviously, we'll see. But on that note, guys, appreciate you joining me. I will hop off here now because it is getting late, and I'm sure those of you on the East Coast want to go to bed. So thanks for watching. Raider Nation!